Losers Bracket, Battlefield of Eternity is the first map, and we have Rospidol going up against DMW. So Meta Madness continues, we're in the playoffs, and one of those two teams is going to say goodbye soon. But we have a full best of 5 series on our hands now to figure out which one will make it into the next round and which one will drop out. 18 heroes are completely banned from the tournament, so we have all of them eliminated, which means that Malfurion has now joined the ranks, so he's currently out. They're actually banning Cho'Gall. I don't even blame them because Rospidol has played so much Cho'Gall. It actually makes sense to me that you would get rid of that just to eliminate that as an option. Again, Meta Madness, we have some cool stuff happening here. We have the pre-bans, we have 10 heroes eliminated with every single map that gets played. Heroes can only be played once. So yeah, it's a pretty cool concept to force teams to think outside of the box a little bit, and that's exactly what we're getting. One of the focus with bans will very much so be on some of the Pinnacle Quest heroes like Thrall, Kerrigan, and Falstad, and with Thrall already banned out. Usually they sneak their way in eventually, but yeah, we'll see what exactly is going on over there. So let's jump in and let's get things started here. We have with the ban on Cho'Gall and on Thrall already stage set a little bit. Both of these teams have been playing, of course, in the winner bracket already, lost their first round, and are now trying to break through this. With BOE being actually the first map in the series, that means that we still have plenty of heroes that are really good against the Immortal. Li Ming being banned is one of them, but you still have Greymane, you can still have Jimmy. Suljin is currently being played quite a bit on the map too, one of the reasons that he gets banned. But we have both Falstad and Kerrigan, for example, open now. So if you are looking to get some of those Pinnacle Reward heroes that are still a little bit overtuned right now because we're waiting for the patch that will adjust their numbers to balance them out a bit more. But at this point, they're still very powerful. But before we're getting any of this, Sniper is going for one of his trademark heroes and is actually picking Maiev. She's another one that gets banned in most matches, but now taken right here. So, good start for them, I suppose, because they are at least getting a hero that they want to play, that they're very familiar with. How is Rospidol going to react to it, though? That's the bigger question here. And as I said before, only one team can advance, the other one is out. If you want to have a chance to make it into what's the grand final and get into range of prize money, you gotta dig deep here. So, Falstad gets played. That gives us one Pinnacle Quest, and we have Deckard Cain. Very early in the series already coming in. But with Maiev now taken, do we get Stukov to try and tether somebody into the Lurking Arm? Or what is DMW going to try and play out here? For sheer Immortal damage, you can still get a few of your ranged heroes in, of course. We get Chen and we get Tyrael. So, triple frontline for the red team already. Triple frontline for them. Still need that range damage, need that support. Not a little for Rospidol to ban here. It's actually kind of funny to me too, that even with those 18 pre-bans, that obviously focuses on some of the most played heroes that we've seen, heroes that just people don't generally like. We are now in a spot where you can still get pretty decent comps out. And yeah, final ban with Tracer eliminated. I could have totally seen them go into a Stukov ban, by the way. Stukov, yeah, I don't know if they're going for Stukov. Some advantages, disadvantage to that pick, but with Maiev, we've seen that a lot. Just trying to tether them back into the Lurking Arm and then get the value there. Muradin, obviously a very frequent pick in the earlier days as well, the earlier stages, the earlier maps. So he is out, and that also eliminates at least an initial stun. Could still go for some other heroes that can rock the front line very heavily. We've seen in the previous games a lot of Arthurs, we've seen Imperius, Diablo, another stun hero right there. And also vibing well with Deckard Cain and Yrel, the old school combo. There was a time in HGC, and I always come back to this when I see the three of them on one team, where if you pick Deckard Cain, Yrel, and Diablo, I think this comp had, like, if not 100% win rate, it was at least 98. It was insane. They were unkillable. With Yrel and Diablo and then Deckard Cain behind them, you just could basically not take them down. Now, that was years and years and lots of patches ago. But yeah, those were some wild days. It was an absolute monster comp that got played for a while in HGC, and it was just crazy. Greymane and Whitemane, our final picks here. So you have quite a bit of damage here. A lot of dive too, obviously. and then Whitemane to keep everybody alive as we're going into game number 1. Arian with the final pick for our first map of the best of 5 series. So let's see what exactly the blue team is now going to take. But a little bit more range damage would probably do them. They could go melee damage too, but a bit more damage one way or another is probably needed. And they go for Alarak. So ladies and gentlemen, that sets us up. Map number 1 in the best of 5. Let's go. Battlefield of Eternity. On the left in blue, Rospiedol. Let's get the party started here with Machko on Diablo. We got Itrax on Urel. Lavakal is playing Falstad. We got Balon, they got Kane, and Arian on Alarak, trying to get that sadism into play. On the right side, it is the Evil with Chen, Serenio, and Whitemane. We got Sniper on Maiev, the first pick for them over here. And then Theoden on Tyrael, and Greymane gets played by Yoshiro. So, all the way down at the bottom of the map, our 4-man is already getting established and is doing some shenanigans here already. Top lane, Chen against Urel, obviously. That's what we're going to get there first. And then in the meantime, obviously, when you look at just at talents, we have some stacks for Tyrael with Art and Restoration. So that's one of the things that they're going to try and pull off here. We have on Urel's side, Dauntless, and as usual, Frequent Flyer these days. This is going to be the big one. Maybe a little bit harder for Falstad to properly stack this here, but the impact should still be significant for them, for sure. So, yeah. Top side, that's where we're now getting still the 1v1. Chen trying the best that he can. They're going for camps at the bottom of the map already early, so that's DMW getting this quickly. And they are one of the teams in the tournament that were probably the biggest surprise. They came in and they just started to improve from week to week. Still an underdog heading into this, and a lot expect them to be the first team to drop out of the tournament. But I have to admit that they took maps of teams where nobody really expected that they would be able to pull it off. And they had some amazing results. So not only the improvement that they showed consistently, but lots of fun matches and ideas that they brought into. So big shout out to them and a huge thank you for actually participating in all of this. Was definitely a lot of fun. And yeah, top side, that's where we now have a 2-man setup for DMW trying to do their thing. Down at the bottom of the map, still the attack towards, for a second I thought Falstad, but they are not able to grab him, especially with Machko paying attention and using Diablo here. But now Falstad, the birdie, going to the top, trying for the counter kill on Itrax, on Urel. Well, or Chen, sorry, Falstad is trying to help him out here. Sniper was the one that was hoping to turn this around, but wasn't able to do a whole lot on this. Down at the bottom of the map with Greymane and the numbers advantage, the red team has been able to take some of the towers down though. And was able to nearly destroy that one. Structurally, the team is a little bit in the lead. The experience lead here, that's not really a lead, they're on the same level. They get level 4 at the same time. We have 1 kill, 2-0 currently. Over on the left side, Balor and Lavakal are doing their thing, going for the Shaman camp. On the right side, the same. Everybody timing it around the objective to force the opponent to defend and make it as difficult as possible to focus on the Immortal. So it's always trying to get some split attention from the opponent's team and doing their thing. But, yeah, top side, that's why we have Cheno starting to jump in again. Itrax gets, most of the camp that was still from the top lane taken out. They're timing this one quite nicely. Bit late there, but should get value out of it. And now as the Immortal is about to spawn at the bottom of the map, still enough to protect the Shaman of the blue team. Only a single kill so far. 103 sadism for Alarak, and he actually went show of force on level 4. Machko under pressure, and he's able to get away. So, nice. Job well done for him. And obviously now the move towards the Immortal. Blue team is trying their thing here. Atrax is also getting pressured. And they are trying to go for specifically Urel, who has no ult yet, of course. So the survivability rate is quite in the tank. And that's a kill right there. So, well done. They take the kill. Able to claim this quickly. Meantime, we have at the top some damage done, but definitely not enough to compensate for that. So the halftime show victory is going to the red team. It's 1 kill versus a kill that we're currently getting for all of these guys. But while this all plays out, we have another quick move made for maybe even Yoshiro again here. And that's a stun into an immortal stun. So Greymane for a second really looked like he might fall. They're still taking this down pretty easily. Only Falset is attacking on the left side. Machko is now coming in too. There was definitely a chance for the team to get a kill, but now the red team... Ah, there it is. The wall stun. Sniper trying to get out. Atrax is hoping to follow up. They're going for Whitemane, and they're all still alive, and I just don't understand how. They were so low. That's a kill for a kill, but the Immortal should fall eventually. It gives Rospidol a little bit more time to reduce the shield at least. So that's the minimum that they can do, and that's exactly what they're moving on for right now. So, yep, with that, not too bad, but it's still a 50% shield, of course, that they're going to use on this one. But then in the meantime, we're having the level 7 talents kick in on both teams. The Immortal is going to focus onto the top lane. Greymane can, of course, with that, go straight walking form and start to take some of the towers down, and is already on it. We're looking on level 7 into Intercession. So we get that. We have Purge Evil also in. And this is likely going to drop the fort fairly low. I mean, if they really focus on this fully, they could potentially take the entire thing. But it's a 5 versus 4 now that Urel arrived. Then again, Urel arrives, that's true, but she also says goodbye very quickly. And that's that. So Urel is down for the second time, and Rospidol is starting to have some problems here. That's the fort gone. They lost the objective, they lost the fort. They are now 1 kill down. And that's, yeah, that's a bit of a disaster, especially with, I mean, Chen still sitting at the bot lane, very much alone. Fawcett is now starting to come in and help out a bit, but the Evil got more experience for the red team and was on top of that also able to take part of that wall down. So a 1 level advantage nearly for DMW, and they again are able to get some solid work done in the early stages of the game. Now, one of the problems that I think they're struggling a bit with just in general is that they are looking really good when they get a lot of their preference picks, but as the matches continue to head into the later maps, they oftentimes are starting to fall a bit behind because the rest of their lineup is not as strong. It's getting really tricky with this many pre-bans to get a proper lineup for yourself where you have picks that you are fairly strong with. And so as we're going into game number 2, 3, 4, it can get dicey for them to contest against somebody that has just way more tournament experience and maybe a deeper hero pool. But for now, they're looking good here. So for now, they're looking quite well. They have an early level 10, which obviously helps them too. So with level 10 abilities, we're now getting Judgment, we're getting Keg. We have the Bullet for Greymane. Falset is dealing with the top and is sitting at 91 stacks, so he's soon going to get his second quest reward unleashed. Yeah, we're trying to get some isolation through Chen. Can't quite do it. And Falset is now helping his team to get the experience for level 10 abilities, and they are the heroics. Just in time for the objective. So we get Counter-Strike, we got Lightning Breath, and the old man is going to attempt to put everybody to sleep once again. So stay a while and listen. Yeah, the old schooler over here. Put him to sleep and take him down. That's what they're going to try and do here. But with the second objective up, I would expect more of a fight now happening from Rospidol. We'll see. 116 sadism, by the way, for Alara currently. Sitting at 20,000 damage. Top damage dealer is Maiev currently. They're sitting that. So, yeah, there's the barbecue. Quick hit. And the disc eventually against Machko. But they're trying for area, and hits the combo there. And Deckard Cain with a full big sleep. They're still not giving up on that fight though. Barlow gets attacked. The ult from Urel. They're trying to... Ooh, Gust being used now too by Lavikal. With a 20,000 damage himself. Judgment on the old man. Barlow is still able to walk away from this though, even with Maiev attempting to follow up. And they're all just on the move back out, with Greymane hitting the Immortal hard once again. So the sustain just a bit better here for DMW. And they get the halftime show victory once more. Falset keeps stacking, getting bigger numbers up, and also getting closer to the next quest reward. So that's going to help them too. but by now we're having just way more value for the red team. Still, 3 kills to 2. The disc out once again. They're trying to win this one quickly and can't. Lavicar is at 113 stacks. Especially with Arian getting more and more sadism. He's sitting at 26,000 damage, but it's really just Maiev that over and over again runs the charts here. 37,000 for her. You look at Greyman, he's sitting at 33, so they're both outpacing the damage output that we're getting from Alarak. Again, Chen with a quick kick as he's trying to make his play there. We're going for Theoden this time. Tyrael is a bit low, gets attacked, gets focused, but Balor is also about to drop, and he's the first one to go down. Deckard Cain eliminated, Alarak down. Sadism gone, and DMW with huge plays, big kills, and massive amount of momentum that allows them to take down Falstad, take down Diablo, and go for the final hero alive, which is Yrel. Itrax is about to go down. They're still chasing him towards the top. Might be able to escape, and scratch that. Greyman comes in and gets the quick kill, and that's a huge immortal now for the red team. They're looking awesome here. I mean, damn. They're even timing this a bit. There's a chase going on for Greyman, but he's still able to get out. We have level 13 talents, 8 kills to 2, and they're just all in all looking stellar here. This is absolutely massive what they're currently able to pull off at this point. They have a massive immortal that will move down to the bottom of the map and try and go for the fort. They've taken the lead in experience and talents, and they're even trying to time this to make sure that they're having another push at the top with the help of the camp that they just now claimed. It allows for Falstad to get a few more stacks in and get the second reward. And this, yeah, the disc missing here, this might actually cost them the camp. Nope. Chen is able to lock it in. Falstad flies over. They're trying to get some damage out, but that immortal is going to appear in just a moment. Judgment! Machko in trouble, and Diablo is dead. Diablo is gone. He's eliminated. That's the main tank gone. And that should... it's definitely going to be the fort. That's not salvageable anymore. The second reward here, not hit yet from Falstad. So, yeah, he's at 125 stacks in just a few. But he's just not there yet. And they're still moving through the bot lane. Trying to take this down, one hit after another. So, currently, the fort eliminated. The wall is about to open up. We have 9 kills to 2. 14 to 12 still. So, no level 13 talents yet. 33,000 damage for Alarak, but it's just not enough. They're getting absolutely played to the wall here. DMW is just moving them. They're just taking them down one after another. Hit after hit. Maiev comes in with another disc. The keep is about to go down. Deckard Cain is trying to protect them the best that he can. Yrel had to rotate towards the top. And this immortal is still strong. Guys, we're looking at an immortal that just barely lost its shield a few seconds ago. So there's going to be damage on the core if they're playing this right. They might end the game here. DMW is coming in with another judgment. They drop the... Yeah, they drop... Alarak, what? Okay, he gets finally killed, but the core is low. 50%. The turret explosion is going to take more of it. And that's game. That's just game. Game number 1 goes to DMW as they defeat Rospidol on Battlefield of Eternity. GG. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before we continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. That was a fast one. DMW with a victory. They take the lead, and Rospidol, I don't think they necessarily expected this to happen. I myself, honestly, could not believe how just dominant the red team looked in game number 1. So we'll see if they can continue this. As I said, I personally think that it's going to be a bit more difficult for them to play this into game number 3, 4, and 5 than it is for a team like Rospidol, simply because I don't think they have necessarily the same confidence in heroes that they will have to play in those later series. I might be absolutely wrong on this, by the way. But just generally speaking from tournament experience and from how much teams have participated in tournaments and with this format alone, I think this is a fairly decent assumption. But very happy to be proven wrong here. So far, very nice performance from DMW. They got some of the picks that they definitely wanted, specifically when we're talking about Sniper and his Maiev, of course, who had a huge impact in this game too. But let's see how Rospedol deals with it. We have Kerrigan banned, we have Thrall banned, so after Falset was played, he cannot be played again. We're going into game number 2 now, with, I think, the consistent ban on Cho'Gall. Rospedol just played too much Cho'Gall in this tournament, and teams are getting a little bit tired of it. So they just banned it out. Gul'dan also banned. Garden of Terror, by the way, was the choice of Rospedol. So the blue team has, if I'm not mistaken, in a lot of the previous series, consistently picked Garden of Terror as their starting map. And now we have basically the same thing. Muradin kicks us off as we're heading into the draft. And let's see how Machko and his boys are going to try and make up for the loss they just suffered in Battlefield of Eternity. Because, again, this is the final match for one of these two teams. We get Leoric, and we get Auriel. In total, 28 heroes unavailable as we're heading into the game. So you have to start to think outside of the box for sure. There was definitely a chance also to try and bait them a little bit with maybe not banning Thrall, see what they ban on the Pinnacle side, and then take one for yourself first. But not too many mind games and gambles going on just yet. And ooh, we get Abathur early on. So, Garden of Terror with an early Abathur pick. Muradin, of course, is going to benefit from that significantly. Typically, when you go Abathur, you will also try and get maybe someone like Jaina for Mage for added burst damage. I guess they could play this also with Cassia. Go for a Muradin combo too. Double Muradin also quite nice with the extra Stormbolt that you get. Otherwise, it was just Greymane, but he was already taken. So Greymane with the Symbiote is always fantastic. So unless you're willing to go now for Illidan, for example, we'll see. They still need a side laner. And Illidan with Abathur support is always mega powerful. This is a big map. So if you go Illidan Hunt and then have a Symbiote, you can control the map a little bit better. Chen oftentimes a pick, of course, too. So just to throw a few of the typical picks out. But yeah, Anubra gets its first ban. So they're eliminating that. And now that Abathur has been called, what is the blue team going to pick for themselves? Damage is something that you never run out of in Meta Madness. There's so many damage dealers in the game, so that's usually not a problem. But when it comes to main tanks, when it comes to side laners and some specialty picks, then you have to be careful. Zeratul and Kel'Thas. I mean, Zeratul in particular is a pick that Abathur is not going to like because he's going to eventually start sneaking in and try to get a kill on the slug. So that will happen. Having Kel'Thas here also gives you even more CC. That's always nice with the Gravity Lapse. Leo has the added slow, then you can drop the Entomb later. But that means for DMW that we still need to figure out what exactly Abathur is going to be paired with here. Muradin can't be the only one that benefits from the Symbiote. Usually you want to have your side laner with good impact. So they go for Kharazim. Kharazim chasing you down with a hat is dangerous. And then they have Samuro. So you can really try and just outplay your opponent on the macro level. With Samuro walking up to a structure, getting the copies in, Abathur going for Ultimate Evolution, and all of a sudden you can take these down mega quickly. Specifically if you're timing it with a minion wave and then have also the Inspire buff on that. But, well, let's see if that works for them. Final pick for the blue team, and we get ETC with a potential stage dive. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, second map of the series, we're going to Garden of Terror. Rospedol with 0 points on the board. Machko playing ETC currently. And Balo on Auriel. We got Arion on Zeratul. Itrax on Leoric. And Kel'Thas gets played by Lavakal. No convection. No repeatable quest here. Instead just going for Mana Addict again. As over on the right side we have the Evil on Samuro. Samuro is indeed evil, I can confirm. Sireni is playing Kharazim. We got Yoshiro on Cassia. Sniper this time with Abathur. So going straight from Maiev into Abathur play. And Theoden is playing Muradin. So all hail the slug. And in regards to builds, noteworthy that Zeratul has gone now into a cleave build. Not really too much that they can combo with the Void Prison, I suppose. If maybe ETC can follow up with an ult on a VP, but it's not like we're having Diablo with an Apocalypse or Jaina with a ring or something here. So yeah, that's still missing. But we're gonna keep an eye on that. Abathar, he's the one that will have to assist not only heroes like Muradin, Samuro, and Karazim, but yeah, he has to definitely make a dent here. And talking about Samuro, so he's already at the top going up against Leoric and get some help. That's the problem when you're up against Abathar. He just doesn't respect the 1v1. You're always going to have a situation in which Abathar is then coming in and is helping the side laner out. And that is going to apply pressure consistently. So every time that you feel, hey, maybe I got this and maybe I can just play a fair battle with my opponent, yeah, think again. Because Abathar is going to ruin your day. And that's what they have to do. Now down at the bottom of the map, with the camp taken and the Bruiser camp pushing in, this should definitely start hurting a bit. So they're going to take potentially even a tower down here. Samuro still all the way up at the top. Muradin with an assist. It's going to be interesting to see what he actually got on his level 7. If you have the attack speed advantage and you go for Skullcracker, getting those mini stuns in can be mega annoying. Now, it's a little bit... It's not really that big of a talent anymore. Most don't take it, but still, it can be brutal. What we get instead is ETC actually getting attacked here. That Stormbolt Connect was helpful for them. Arian, uh-oh, Muradin. Yeah, he gets a symbiote again and should be fine here. We'll get the cooldowns back. But we get now Reverberation. So Reverberation in on level 4. Cleave build gets continued for Zeratul, and we have 1 with a win for Samuro. That's top side. Yeah, Itrex is not gonna have a fun time. It's annoying enough to go up against Samuro in the first place, and then when you add Abathar to all of this, then it's just a straight up nuisance. So yeah, huge problem for them there. By now we have on level 4 also the Majestic Span for Oriel. Haven't seen a kill yet in the game, but the first seed is up, and it doesn't really seem like the blue team is even interested in attempting to interrupt. So they're not even delaying us. They're just like, yep, position is not really a good one for us. You just take it, and then we'll play it out from there. So all the way at the top, next camp about to be taken. So they're going to lock this one in. Everybody is just chilling. 6,000 damage for Samuro. We have Leo with his little soap bar trying to take out the trash at the top lane. And now, this is the first time that we could see some actual action between the teams, because this spawn position for seed number 2 is just way more neutral and something that the teams will very likely try and both make a play for. Especially since for the red team this would of course be the second one, so it would bring them very close to the first objective of the game. With level 10, 7-sided strike for Karazim is also going to give more damage and burst potential. But talking about damage and bursts, that's the first one that falls. Muradin is down, get completely overwhelmed at the top lane. And the timing couldn't be any better for Rospedol. It allows them to get the seed for free. Samuro is down at the bottom of the map in the meantime. And yeah, they have also with level 7 now the blinding speed here. And we get the crushing blows for Samuro. And yeah, Samuro is all alone on the lane. Zeratul is soon going to come in and help out. But at the top, the fight continues with a nice gravity lapse on Yoshiro, and it is the end of Cassia. ETC, they're going there in tandem and make their play. So that's now Cassia destroyed. ETC is helping them to take the camp. And then Theoden, murdered by Kelthas. Okay, this is a much, much different dynamic than what we saw in Game 1. 3 kills to 0. A lot of map presence here for Rospedol. And they're getting also closer with Kelthas to complete the level 1 quest. So yeah, this is looking fairly strong from them. 1 seed is in. Second one about to be... I mean, they can claim it whenever they want, I guess. The position is certainly favoring them. Whereas up at the top, the push continues. So they're currently trying there to see if they can take that wall out a bit. The big advantage, obviously, that they also have is the experience lead, which grants them an early level 10. That's a given. And the question is simply, what are they going to do with that? What can they do with that? They already stole the camp at the top right. It's not like they can invade anything else. So there's actually very little that they can do with this. Resurrect is in. We get Void Prison. And it's simply a question of what ETC is going to go for. ETC, you could go stage dive with this. I'm just waiting for them to pancake Abathur at some point. Sniff out the position and then go either in with Zeratul or with ETC and just flatten the slug within a moment. With him holding this back, I would not be shocked in the slightest to see stage dive here. It's a big map, it gives you a bit more control over it. On the other side, we get Blade Storm, 7-sided strike, Muradin with Avatar. So all the ults that you kind of expected. I think the only thing that was probably questionable is whether or not Blade Storm is being taken. Or what exactly Samura decides to do. But here comes the big push to the bottom of the map. They're zoning them with Phoenix. It is a mosh pit for ETC. If he gets a decent slide, can do a lot. Just needs to stay away from Muradin, who has gone Skullcracker, by the way. So he will get the synergy bonus that they get with the attack speed advantage through the symbiote. And that's a big attack at the bottom of the map. 7-sided strike is already used, but they are starting to drop a bit low here. So Abathur can go for the copy. Hasn't done that yet, but they are losing a bit more ground here now. And, well, the mosh pit hits 3. That's a banger. And they get 3 heroes killed. Cassia, Karazim, and Muradin all dead. That was a huge one. That was pretty sick. So ETC is right there, and then Muradin moved into it. I can only imagine that he misclicked somehow. Muradin is basically the only one that can help you to get out of this with the Storm Bolt, and I guess he was on cooldown and then was trying to get a bit closer, but Muradin essentially moved straight into the mosh pit and made it a triple, and all 3 of them were killed. So now, with the channel, we have at least 2 seeds to 2. I think the blue team could have played this a little bit better and gone for their Garden Terror. They prioritized the fort at the bottom of the map, which is understandable. You want to take the structure out, but having at least somebody at the top to interrupt and potentially make a play for the 3rd seed, that would have worked. Either way, though, they are now ahead in structures, and that last battle helped them a lot. More than a level lead. Seed position is going to be fairly neutral at the bottom of the map coming up next. And we'll see who takes it. But there is a talent advantage for Rospit also that could and should give them the edge. Valkyrie, that was nice. Very nice Valkyrie combo. But they can't get the kill. So, despite all the efforts, they weren't able to get the kill. Leo not connecting the Entomb though. So also a bit of a fail there. But we have Zeratul at the top pushing. And of course with Mule on Abathur's level 7, he is just ensuring that there's not too much happening. And Leo goes down. Leo is down, so they're not even trying to take the seed for now. They're going to buy themselves a little bit more time by letting this slide. Leo will be back in a short period of time, so they're going to be okay here now that Zeratul has also joined. We can go for Muradin a bit. Channel is happening. The Toxic Nest is too late, but Karazim is not. Karazim comes in, eats some of the damage. VP is used in the back, isolating at least some of them. But can they get a kill here? Well, the answer is yes, and not only one of them. They're getting 2 kills. They're able to take down Samoro, and they drop Muradin. Now the Entomb, and the whip into the Entomb wall. Beautiful combo once more. That eliminates not only Cassia, but also Karazim. And here come the Garden Terrors. Yeah, Rospidol is starting to gain an absolute mad amount of momentum that leads to a 2-level advantage for them and just big pressure at the bottom of the map now. In the middle and at the top lane, likely forts will fall. I don't think that they can get defenders in there soon enough. But what the blue team, of course, has to also pay attention to is that they're destroying all of the structures that they're now damaging. Unless they're totally okay with Abathur repairing them again. But they're actually continuing the pressure at the bot lane even further. I mean, they nearly got another kill against Muradin as he just came through. We have double Karazim apparently as the copy of Abathur comes in. Big play with that Entomb into the stun of the Garden Terror nearly. The keep is low. Leo might actually fall here, but they should be able to take that keep down. So Leoki is gone. The fort at the top lane got destroyed. The keep at the bottom of the map also gets crushed just before Abathur can mule it up. And now they can jump into the mid lane and try their luck here too. Mule has already been used. Yeah, this one there will probably be able to hold on to, but be it as it may, the first objective gave them quite a lot. Taking a keep down this early in the game is massive. 29 stacks for Kelthas. More camps now being focused on. We got the Reservoir of Hope here for Oriel. So that's 4 stacks already. They're locking those in early. With, yeah, continuously just spin to win from the Evil as he's trying to ensure that they're pushing that lane out. But there is a mad amount of momentum now for the blue team. They're stealing away the camp. They're trying for Karazim, who is able to get away, but only for a short period because, well, we have Zeratul following up on it. Another whip into the wall. And I gotta say, these whips are actually getting a bit crazy. Balor, I mean, he is a hobby archaeologist for sure. The hat and the whip right there. Only other explanation that I can see is that the man has a sex dungeon and practices daily. But these whips are on point. So, big hits, big stuns. Early also when Leo dropped the Entomb and he was able to connect. So he prepped several kills for the team, which was pretty sexy. But now we have 11 kills to 2 overall. Not a single fort destroyed on Rospedol's side. But Karazim is working... sorry, Samuro. Samuro is working on it. Samuro is sitting at the top and has at least destroyed the wall. It's kind of sad for DMW because they have actually the seeds. So they have some seeds there. The question is just what they can do with them. If they can get one more, they have Garden Terrors themselves. But currently we're not there yet. Not from the looks of it. I think this one is also getting claimed by Rospedol. There's no talent advantage anymore, but it's just that difference in experience. It's just crazy. But they of course want them. If they get that seed in the Garden Terrors, that would really, really help them to bring this game back a little bit. Yeah. Zeratul is just sitting at the side here. Arian is waiting for a chance and for an opportunity. He's playing this out very, very slow. They're already giving up on this one. Slide! And Muradin jumps out. The VP against 2. And there's the party! Interrupt is not coming. Well, it's coming too late. Cassia is already gone. They've been making this move now a few times, and Muradin, of course, is also getting chased, and he's not making it out either. And he can jump around a bit and delay things with Abatha's help. He can dish out some damage, but he is going to fall one way or another. So that's now 13 kills against 2, and they got the seed. They have the chance to go into the middle and take another fort out. It's just, the blue team is on an absolute warpath. These guys are on a tear. Call them butter, because they're on a roll. Fort destroyed and nearly level 20. And with Storm Talons, the world's their oyster. 38 stacks for Kelthas. And they're opening up the wall in the mid lane slowly. There's the level 20 talent for them. And that means we're now getting Shadow Mending. We have the Shield of Hope, because Hope dies last. And we also get the Flamethrower for Kelthas. So if he was not already fairly safe the way that he played the game out, then now he certainly would be. Has the extra range on it. And then ETC can still, yeah, make his own choice if he wants to go for Bolt or whatever. No way! No way! What a chat move! Nice! Round of applause for the Evil. That was a nasty, nasty escape. That was clutch, my friend. I thought with the Buried Alive connecting this well and then them following up that they would kill him for sure. But that was pretty cool. So now it goes for the next seed. They're trying to get another one. Zeratul has his VP up again. Could use the choke point. Has 2 targets in the back here. Muradin though. Big damage. Zeratul, careful. And Arian has to move away here. Arian has to actually move out for just a second. But they're luring them back in. VP used only against 1 though. And it's another mosh pit. Against 2, my bad. They get Karazim. And Muradin, he eats so much damage from Kelthas here. They go for the Entomb against Cassia, and she has no chance of escape here. Even Samuro gets just absolutely ragdolled across the map. 43,000 damage now from Kelthas, and they're not even bothering with the seed anymore. Only Abatha and Muradin alive, and so they go straight up for the core. They're gonna lock in a victory here. Unless Murden and Abathur pull up some miracle defense, this is gonna be a win in game number 2 for the blue team. They tie the series up, and we're heading into game number 3 with an even score between DMW and Rospedal as the blue team wins Garden of Terror. Coming up next, we have the third map of the series. If you guys enjoy the content, also consider to head over to patreon.com/Khaldor, support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene alive there. It's the best way to support the channel. Huge shout out to everybody that is already a supporter. You guys are really helping to keep this alive, and you help us to host event after event for the game here. Especially after Blizzard abandoning this already 7 years ago. It's absolutely fantastic that we're still able to do this here. So big shout out to all of the supporters. And again, if you enjoy the coverage, if you would like to support us, head over there and check it out. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the next game. Game number 3, Towers of Doom, everybody. And guys, honestly, before we're heading into this, I still gotta give a shout out to both DMW and also Rospedal. This series is a very nice break because boy are they fast. The game ends. There's like maybe a minute where a team thinks first pick, map pick, what do we go for? And then it's just instant decision making. The lobby gets hosted, the players jump into it, everybody is ready, and we instantly start. It's an absolute dream. So big shout out to DMW and also Rospedal for making this just so unbelievably easy. There's a lot more problems in other matches, and these two guys at least are absolutely killing it. Now, I would have totally been okay if after 2 maps they are saying like, hey, we need 5 minutes. But nope, just game after game after game, very, very quickly. And it just makes the entire process so much smoother. But the series is tight now. That means that we have now 38 bans, or 38 heroes eliminated. Not even accounting for the bans in the game itself. Cho'Gall is just reliably taken down, so he is getting banned. And with Thrall now for the first time making it through the ban phase, it's an insta-pick for DMW. That's actually an interesting choice here. I would have even argued that it might be a bit of an oversight from the blue team, but they seem to be comfortable with this. They banned out Suljin instead, so they went for one green guy, just not the green guy that we expected here. They have definitely looked really, really strong on the second map. And this is playing a little bit in my personal theory that for DMW it is much, much harder to go into the long matches in a format like Meta Madness. Happy to be proven wrong here, by the way. But Rospedal in game number 2 definitely gaining momentum. And now we'll see if they can carry that into Towers of Doom here. We have Varian and Tracer as our choices, so already looking at that taunt and trying to follow up on that. Arian has done a great job on Zeratul. If now they're coming in with Tracer and can just nip around the edges, they can do a lot there too. We have Diva and Ana on the other side, so we're going apparently full Overwatch outside of the Pinnacle Quest reward Thrall in order to embrace the Imber. If that's gonna work for them or not, that's a different story. But yeah, Stitches also gets banned. Stitches with a bit of an RNG element to the hooks. Obviously, there's certain things that you can definitely, where you can get mad value out of hooks, and you can train those to an extent. But there's always a bit of an RNG element to it as well. So they don't want to go up against that. And it's a fairly common pick also on Towers of Doom. Stitches. So yeah, no chance on that. Jaina gets banned. And that brings us to our final ban here. And what are they worried about? I mean, technically, you're looking at what the best follow-up is for Varian Stun, so that's 1. And they ban Stukov. So there's a couple of elements of what you could talk to. Towers of Doom is also popular with Vikings if you want to control the macro game. We don't have that many pseudo-globals available anymore. But in comes Li Ming, so even more burst damage now for Rospedal. So you have Tracer, you have Li Ming, can get your resets. Tyranda's a follow-up to Varian's Taunt. So stun, Hunter's Mark. It's maybe a little bit on the squishy side what they're currently running here, but the one thing that they have is a lot of damage potential where they can come in on any hero on the other side and just take them down quickly. If you can connect with Varian and then Li Ming, Tyrande, and also Tracer follow up on that, very, very little that can be done in order to save those targets. So, final 2 picks now. Sniper played Abathur on the last map. Now we're going Imperius and Gul'dan. So they have with Thrall, Diva, and Imperius a triple frontline essentially. And that brings us to our final pick. They need another melee here. They need another side laner. Could have seen him go into Imperius, by the way, if not for the fact that he's already taken by the opponent. But they need somebody that helps out Varian just a bit. So, let's check this out. We got our lineup for game number 3. The final pick for the blue team. It's Sonya. Could even see Leap here if they really want to go all in on that blow-up comp. But with that, we're heading into Towers of Doom, ladies and gentlemen, the 3rd map of the series. The blue team on the left with Machko on Varian. Arian is playing Tracer in game number 3. We got Barlow on Tyrande, Lavikal with Force Armor on level 1 on Liming, and then Itrax on Sonya. Time for DMW to step it up a little bit if they want to turn this. We have the Evil on Imperius. Yoshiro is playing Diva. We got Sereni on Ana. Theoden is playing Thrall, and Sniper on Gul'dan. So, over on the right side, the team with a dream. I mean, Thrall is going to go Maelstrom weapon. There's no chance he's going for anything else, is there? I mean, it would really surprise me. I just don't understand why he would hide the talent. Maybe he's not familiar with the new style and hasn't played it yet, and is currently reading talents here or just asking ChatGPT. But yeah, Maelstrom weapon is in. So this is the big one. Normally you only hit the 2nd reward. I have not seen in an esports environment the pinnacle reward being granted. Games have just not lasted long enough. So yeah, that's a bit of a... It's not really a problem, honestly. At the end of the day, it's really just one of those things. If you get to that point, then yes, that extra sustain that Thrall gets is just insane. But the damage output that you get with the 2nd reward is already extremely powerful. So this is essentially what they're aiming for the most. Now, we got Impaling Light on level 1. And on the side of Gul'dan, Pursuit of Flame. That doesn't really surprise either. It's now changed slightly where when you die, you actually lose your stacks. But it's a fairly easy quest to complete. Okay, there's also a fairly easy kill apparently that they can get here. And Arian makes it out! I thought the recall would kill him. I thought recalling there would put them right into the hands of the red team and take him down for sure. But he made it somehow. So, good for him. Oh, Gul'dan is brutalizing them. Damn, they're losing the entire wall at the bottom of the map already. So, this is not quite working out like they intended it to, I suppose. It's very early in the game, though. But, yeah, Imperius coming in from the top for just a second now, too. We have Arian with his little pony. And they are hoping to steal the pumpkin camp away. I think that might be... Well, actually, it's not going to be a vain hope if they're here with 5. Sonya is all the way up at the top. Now we got level 4 talents on both sides, and that brings us taunt. So let the games begin. Varian is going to try and taunt them up. They're going for Thrall, and instead it's Tracer that nearly falls. Yeah, this is turning against him extremely quickly. To be fair, Gul'dan nearly died here too, but I'm not quite sure if they expected the battle to go this way. So they taunt, they engage, they initiate, and what happens first is them nearly losing 2 of their heroes. So, probably not quite how they envisioned that fight. And this could be a continuous problem here. I'm a little bit curious. I really want to see how this is now going to play out once that they're going for attempt number 2 and 3. Because especially Gul'dan is just ripping them a new one right now. He's absolutely murdering them. It's a bit too early to... I mean, usually I don't go this early into the stats, but like, look at the damage output of Gul'dan. He's nearly at 10k. Li Ming is 30% behind him. Yeah, Owl at the top on Interrupt against Diva, but, well, there's the channel. So they're getting 2 channels to 1, and DMW is taking a lead on this. On the objective, at least. So, I'm still engaging with Varian. I guess there's another taunt. Follow-up isn't there. Yeah, they have to coordinate this a bit better. So he's actually baiting him out of the Tyrande stun. And the squishies, I said this in the draft, that they are actually very squishy. And Sniper is crushing it. I honestly don't think they should worry this much about Thrall, and right now worry more about Gul'dan. Try and see if they can get a flank in on him or something. Because the problem is the damage output that we're getting from the man with the overbite. Yeah, right there. Sniper gets attacked, and they get a kill on Ana this time. Yeah, that's more like it. Quick kill on Ana. Few seconds and Taunt will be ready again. There's the explosion, but Itrax is dead too. So is Thrall on the other hand, and even his level 4 is getting reset, so it's a 2-for-1 trade. But with Imperius moving in, Machko is in trouble and gets dropped as well. So it's a 2-for-2 trade. Yeah, I think that could have been played out a little bit better. But it's a nice game. It's good for us. Good stuff to watch. 16,000 damage on Gul'dan. To be fair to the blue team, Li Ming is still... I mean, she's kind of catching up a bit. The gap between the two of them is still similar, but she's overall, especially percentage-wise, she's starting to catch up a bit on this. And then we also have Tracer with another 10k. It's not quite as much as Imperius was able to get so far, but hey, it definitely plays a big role here too. So, yeah. See what they can get with the evil down here. There's the stun, and Machko is again looking for targets. It's a single altar this time. So you don't want to give them too much. In experience, the two teams are still even. In kills, of course, as well. But it seems like the red team is just doing a bit better in these fights and has way more sustained with that 3 front line, with that 3 melee lineup that they're running. So, yeah. We'll see how much they can actually do here. The channel is happening from Lavakal. Taunt is in. No follow-up. They get the stun on Imperius instead, and Machko is already starting to slowly move out. We'll have his taunt back up and ready in a few seconds. Could go for Theoden again. Yeah, gets the slow. But Gul'dan is again the problem. Every single time that they're starting to clump up in order to go for a kill, Gul'dan is immediately there and unleashes Echoed Corruption on them and some Fell Flames. And it is burning them down mega quickly. Tyrande can't heal it that easily. So, yeah, Sniper again creating some space for the team. Sereni down here is getting interrupted. We got still the pilot taking around. And now they're going for Gul'dan. Now they're starting to get some damage in, but it's nowhere near enough to actually threaten him. So they poke this out as best as they can. But they haven't taken control of the area yet. Ah, they can at least drop the mech. Yeah, okay, so pilot has to go out. Imperius also a bit low. Sonya as well. Another stun against Thrall. And the evil has to hearth back, which makes it very difficult for DMW to engage here. And it is 4 shots fired for Rospidol. Yeah. But it's a hard-fought battle. Again, kudos to DMW. They have improved so much, it's honestly awesome to watch them play some of these games out. So, yeah, tons of fun with that. Now that we have level 10 abilities, dynamics will change. Imperius is going for the delivery system, and the blue team is really speccing fully into the sniper attempts that they are trying to run here. Going leap on Sonya, so they want to go for the hard engage. And this might work quite nicely for them. Bit of a trap at the bottom of the map set for a moment. Nobody fell for it, but yeah. They had all the bushes here. And one pumpkin camp is already taken. They might try and think about invading the other one. So far they're not. Alright. But Varian is also sitting here and just waiting for his chance. But yeah, they're not willing to engage into that yet. 21 stacks for Thrall. Damage output for him is of course going to spike quite a lot once that he completes the 40. And he can engage into a battle with the Sundering too. Sonya and Diva are still both playing this at the top. But another tool that they now also have is of course the ult on the side of Tyrande. So this is gonna help them a lot with survivability too. In comes the play. Taunt. Imperius Sundering is getting used. And then we get Horrify and Varian just gets dropped. So does Li Ming. They kill 2. They want 3. And they go for Tyrande. And she doesn't stand a chance either. So Tyrande is out. Sonya arrived too late. And bam. Tracer is gone as well. DMW, ladies and gentlemen. Big plays. Big damage. Big kills. 6 kills to 2. And Rospidol in some serious trouble. Can they interrupt this? Yeah, they use Leap for an interrupt to get the rest of the team back so that they at least can fight for one altar. The one on the right side has, of course, already been taken. But, yeah, they try to go for the pilot. Ah, that was a kill opportunity right there. The position just a bit off for the wave of force. I think they could have been able to take that kill. But it's 4 shots fired against 4. And that is actually 28 points on both sides. It's the experience gap between the teams that's a bit different. And the pilot gets away with under 100 hit points. Oh boy, yeah, that sucks. That's the moment where you're really not believing in luck anymore. It's a bad karma day right there. It's a good indicator that you might not have accumulated a lot of good karma and that you might spend your next life as a slug. Sundering. Sonya does have leap in 2 seconds. Has it now, and Tracer is just dead again. I gotta give it to Sniper. Sniper is crushing it. The guy is at 38,000 damage, and some of these Horrifies have been insane. I mean, the Horrifies from Sniper have been absolutely bonkers, and he is a damage machine right now. 39,000 damage. Nobody else comes even close to him. So, yeah. They need a way to deal with him, and I suppose the idea was to get Sonya in with the jump and then follow up with the rest of the team. But if they can't manage Sniper, then I think they're going to eventually lose that game. Because as much as some of these Thunderings and other tools have helped, the damage output that we're getting from him exploiting the positioning of the blue team and then also the ults that he has been dropping is just too good. It's just too much. It's 28 points for both sides. Very even still. With a couple of pumpkins now connecting, so that's some extra shots fired. And we have a double altar coming up too. Yeah, Sundering is again out. Zoning them a little bit, and they're still all fine. Sonya is just waiting up at the top. Ready for that leap. Itrax is just gonna say hello. Sniper is gonna get this one for free. And, yep. No, the leap misses. He dodged the owl, and then the leap misses. Oh, I'm not saying the guy would have gotten them a kill, but still. They gotta coordinate this differently. Here comes the nano boost on Gul'dan. Horrify, and bye-bye Tracer. Yep, that's exactly how you do it. Nano boosted Gul'dan, they get the Horrify on Tracer, and she gets killed. So that's now 20 points on the core. It will be 16 in a moment. Gul'dan gets interrupted again, but with Tracer gone, I think this is a given that the red team is going to get that altar too. Level 16. They got the synergy now with Alpha Wolf. Quest on level 4 for Thrall is not completed. And talking about his quest, the quests don't look that hot. He's at 31 for his level 1 talent, so he still needs 9 stacks before he is able to capitalize on the big extra damage that he's aiming for. Sonya at the top, still locked into a 1v1 with D.Va, but yeah. Well, the camp about to be taken. They're holding onto the bell tower, by the way. And the blue team tries to remove the boss as a tool from the map. Honestly, it's a little bit of a mix between, hey, we want to shoot 4 points against the opponent's core, but also you want to take it away from the opponent because you're realizing, hey, we're running into trouble here one way or another. Once that there is an even bigger advantage and they're trying to go for it, they will, and so let's remove it right now for a couple of minutes. And we can try to catch up at least. More pumpkin camps. And, yeah, the blue team trying to retake at the bottom of the map, but more than anything else trying to get to level 16 talents. Get to level 16 so that it can fight on a level playing field again. But right now, Thrall obviously also wants to get his wolf connected. We're now 13 minutes in, he hasn't completed his level 1 yet. Technically speaking, this objective phase can, by the way, win DMW the game. If they get all 3, it's a victory. With a 5-3 bell tower situation, that's your chance to win the map. Pumpkins would help too, but yeah, those get eliminated. This time they can't escort them in. So are we going to see some coordination plays from Rospedal this time, or is this where it's all going to break? Sonya is at least getting 1 altar, so I guess the red team cannot finish it now, even if they win the fights. Horrify, this time not with enough value. This time was a little bit better by the opponent. Sniper does not get a lot out of the ult from Ana either. I get still some value. And they're coming in with another kill, and they're getting Tyrande again. The squishies are just falling too quickly. Ana down, Tracer down. And the party is continuing as Sonya gets murdered. They go for Varian again, and they're all dead and gone. Yep, that's 13 kills, 2-4. Only Li Ming survives. They get the channel, and they should now just work on the next bell tower, and they will get it. So that is 2 points on the core, and if they just get both of the bell towers for a short period of time, they're going to win the game through the barrage alone. Li Ming can try and take the bottom of the map. I'm not even sure if that's going to be a thing. She's currently trying to pull that off, but the bell tower in the middle is going to be taken 100%, and all they need is 2 shots. All they need right now is 2 shots, and Li Ming can't take this back quickly enough, not even with the help of Tyrande. If they rotate to the well, there's still tower standing there. They have to break through the entire wall. Alright, okay, that changes things a little bit. 35 seconds until the pumpkins are back up. 2 pumpkins is all that you need. But this is horrible. 6 points to 2 on bell towers. So they're starting to dive in here. You want to get those hits. But Sundering is out again. Another Horrify gets used. And that's first of all Sonya eliminated. Now it marks the end of Tracer. Gul'dan again murdering them where they stand. 65,000 damage. Tyrande is gone too. They're going for Varian. D.Va at least got taken out by him, but he himself dies as well. And now they can, they can literally decide how they want to end the game. Get the pumpkins and escort them in. Go to the top lane and take the bell tower. Wait for the objective to spawn. Whatever you want to do. It's a win for DMW. They're taking the 2-1 lead in the series 100%. So it's a pretty impressive performance here once more. And yeah, they're just locking that in. They're just absolutely crushing this right now. So good for them. Honestly, a lot of this was not necessarily going as expected. But I just enjoy watching this team. Level 20 talents are in, shots are fired, 1 single point and the core, and there it is. That's game! That's DMW with a lead in the best of 5 series against Rospitol. GG. Game number 4. Alright, so 30 heroes banned through, well, because they were played. And then 18 banned through the pre-bans. So that is 48 out. Yeah, it's getting actually really spicy here. I did not expect DMW to pull ahead again. So good job by them. We're having a bit of a support ban early on. I mean, with Infernal Shrines, if you ban Alexstrasza, that's of course a Dragon Queen that you eliminate. Cho'Gall they will ban him throughout the entire match. It doesn't really matter how many games we have here. It's a clear decision that the team has made where they said, okay, Cho'Gall is not going to be a factor in the series. Rospitol plays him way too much. We don't want to go up against this. So, Cho'Gall, bye-bye. But for the red team, they played well. I gotta say, Sniper, my F was insane in game number 1. His Gul'dan right now won them so many fights, especially the horror fights that we saw. Holy cow, that was nasty business. So now that we're going into game number 4, this is match point. DMW could win this one. If they win here, they move on, and Rospitol gets eliminated from the tournament. So this could be big. What are they going to pick though? Because that pool is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. We're starting with an Uberak. So we're going to get a bit of dive for Infernal Shrines. And Rospitol on the other side. What are they looking for here? They had a bit of a weird spot. They lost the first map, then they caught up again. Probably thought, and so did I, that they would be able to carry the momentum into the next game and start to take a lead here, but far from it. Now they have to be afraid that they're getting killed in the tournament. And yeah, we're starting with Uther and we get Mephisto. Uther also, right now at least, locked in by Machko. So Machko is usually playing the main tank for them. And Uther as a main tank is definitely a thing. So there is a chance that we're going to get a double support from them. And a second healer. Which would also have an immediate impact on a potential game 5. Because then you could really, with the bans, look for a potential healer joke. If it comes to that. Ophir and Zul get taken. Okay. The one thing I gotta admit now, though, is that you could, with them not picking a healer, and Alexstrasza banned, and the blue team may be going for a double support. This could end up with another healer ban right now and a second pick, and them really putting them into a bit of a corner. Morales and Lilia, for example, still up. And there it is. Morales gets now banned, and that's a problem. Because I'm not 100% certain who else is available right now. Whitemane got picked, but we still have some supports up, so they can pick now one, and I guess they're going to force DMW into Lili. Alright. That is... yeah. That is something that's going to get really interesting here. I think Uther... has Stukov been played? We talked about him a few times, but I think he was banned, right? So I think he's still up. So they could go Stukov and then force Lili. There might be a few more available. But it's pretty clear with the Alexstrasza and the Morales ban what they're trying to do here. And Uther, we assume at this point that he is going to be the main tank, so a second healer would come in. And yeah, that's likely what they're going to do. These fuckers. That is just mean. Alright. That's one way to do it. Nazeebo and Suljin on the other side. Yeah, well, there's no healer left anymore. They could have gone Zarya, I suppose. But that's the only thing that was still available here. So we have no heal against a triple heal. Rospiedol just said, screw it, let's just throw it at the wall. If we go to game 5, that means that only Alexstrasza and Morales are available, and we will likely see both of them being banned. I don't think that they're going to go for a gentleman's agreement where they let each team have one support. I don't think that's happening. So here comes Artanis. Oh god, I love this tournament format. I love it so much. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 4. Triple heal against no heal. Well, that was certainly an interesting development. Instead of just forcing them into playing Lili, they just went for the triple heal and forced DMW to play without a healer. So this is going to get really interesting now. The big question is, of course, who did Rospiedol just outplay? The opponent or themselves? Machko with Uther on the blue team side. We got Arian on Mephisto. Balor is playing Stukov. Itrax on Artanis. And then Lavekal on Lili. DMW on the other hand with Yoshiro on Ophir. We got Sniper on Suljin this time. The Evil on Nazeebo. Sereni on Enuburak. And Theoden is playing Zul. The red team definitely has a lot more damage. But they are severely lacking in sustain. And with all of the sustain that we're getting for Rospiedol, they decided to go Artanis, and they go on level 1 into stack. So they're really aiming for some potential late game shenanigans, and they're already starting this up with a kill. So it's already starting off pretty bad for DMW. The draft in and of itself is already strange, to say the least. But now they're getting chased here, and I mean, honestly, I have no idea how this is going to go for them. It's really tough going up against 2-3 supports. It's much easier in your head to defeat something like this because the sustain that they have is just crazy, and you still have some damage output. And you have, of course, Mephisto now for damage, and you have on the other side someone like Artanis, who over the course of this game will build his damage more and more and more. That's the whole idea of the talents that they're picking here. It's a massive amount of damage output also for DMW, but the problem is they don't have any sustain. They have no sustain. They don't have any heals. Nothing they can do to just keep the heroes alive outside of a couple of ults that they can pick and talents to choose. But that's going to be a problem. It's 2 kills to 0 already. You can play maybe a bit around trying to push for structures. That's something. There will be little that Rospiedol can at least initially do to push for... yeah, for structures in particular, but even on the objective, they have a huge amount of sustain here. So this could very well go into game number 5. Sniper is going to try and get as many stacks as he can to really become a killing machine, but you can already see the problem here. Enuburak is down, that's 3 kills to 0. And we have 48 stacks for Artanis. He needs a lot more in order to make this work in the long run, but he definitely has all the time and space in the world, and he has the support behind him for it. It's such a sneaky play to go into 2 support bans and then pick 3 for yourselves. Didn't even occur to me at that moment. So, yeah, very well done. And again, as I said, if this goes to game number 5, there are only 2 healers left. Only Alexstrasza and Morales, and there's a very good chance that we're going to see a game without any supports at all, because I don't know if they both just agree to let the support slide on each side. So now we got 4 kills to 0 already and a 1 level advantage. That is, yeah, way too much. They're double checking at the camp. Artanis would love nothing more than more opportunities to stack. I think the moment where it could really fall apart for Rospidol is if Nazeebo makes it to 20 with Vile Infection, and if Sniper is able to get a lot of stacks. I would assume that he's going on level 7 into Arcanite Axis. So if that's a thing, then there is at least a chance for them to get lots of damage in. But look how quickly he drops against somebody like Mephisto. So that's the next problem right there. He's going to go Tastingo, and on 20, it's going to be a great talent for him to stay alive, but right now, they are just having the toughest time. So, the objective is up at the top, and the blue team is completely taking over on it. They will get the first one, for sure. This is why the team is pushing at the bottom of the map. Their whole idea is to get some counter damage, and they get a kill! Nice! That's an important one. Get at least a few kills, do something here. So, they have Arcanite Axis now, they can take that wall out. And that basically means that even with the Punisher claimed, Rospidol will have to, at a minimum, do as much damage as their opponent does down here. So they have another wall against Lavakal this time. Alright. Maybe a few connects. But it's specifically Arian that is a problem for them. And Sniper nearly died. Has to fall back here. And Theoden is likely going to... one of them is going to be taken out, no? They're actually covering the retreat quite well with Nazeebo. But now they have to defend at the top. 10 stacks for Suljin. 33 for Nazeebo with his spider build that he's running here. And now they have all back to try and defend at the top. But it's level 8 versus level 8. So with everything that is happening, they're still staying in experience range. And this is important if you're trying to make it to that late game. And as you can tell, that Punisher hasn't really done a whole lot. They didn't even break the wall. You compare that to the damage that's been done down at the bottom of the map. And DMW has a structure lead. Not a substantial one, but I mean, it's there. They have a much easier time going for structures and take them on. So they move topside and they take this one on as well. The one thing that I would really still like to see from them, though, is they have to, in my opinion, make sure that Nazeebo is getting better stacks. It's not horrible, but they need more. They really need him with Vile Infection later. I don't think that playing it any other way is going to work for them in the long run. But they are staying in close proximity in experience to Rospidol. So the blue team doesn't have an auto win there. That's not a thing. 43 stacks now. Suljin in particular is getting also stacks together. He needs the range increase, for example. Every attack that he can work in is more than welcome for them. They lost Zul, and they're going to lose more. It's 5 kills to 1 now. And, boy. Oh, this is so annoying. Look at this. Water Dragon, and they went also on 10 for Consume Souls. Oh, my God. Yeah. So, that's rough. Yep, DMW, they're definitely better at taking structures down. They have way more damage for that. Rospidol, they have the edge in team fights, though. It's just the sustain that they have. 13,000 damage. Mephisto is so damn strong in team fights, too. It's not going to be matching them in damage output against structures, but when it comes to just team fighting, then Mephisto is having an absolute field day here today. Suljin, again, they have scaling into the late game. If they can make all that work, then the late game scaling might be what eventually wins them a game here, but it's always a big question mark. First of all, Sniper needs to get his range extension on the baseline, and then the double swing would really help them. But the problem is, if you can't stay in a team fight long and enjoy a skirmish where you work these auto attacks in, then it's tough for you to get to that point. They have to dive with the Nubarak in order to get that started. They get a kill on Artanis at the top, though, so that's already nice. That's a pretty neat move. Getting Artanis down, every single kill that they can get is great. That's going to help them a lot. Double Dragon is in! And the Divine Shield, but consumes souls, drops, or fear. Yeah, the Water Dragon that we're getting was a little bit too much to handle. Lily with the damage. But they are at the top now going for the next attack. And they have actually put Stukov into a bit of a pickle with that zombie wall from the Zebo. 63 stacks now for the baseline. 15 for Suljin, but the stacking from Sniper is nothing crazy. It's not all that great. And while on the first and maybe even the second objective, we can start to ignore it and go for structures instead. Let's not forget that objectives, punishers, they also scale throughout the game, which means that once that you are in a spot where you're talking about number 4 or number 3 even already, you will get damage with that. You will get momentum. And they're already pulling ahead by roughly half a level. So Nazebo is down at the bottom of the map. Is getting big value with Gary. They're going to get a fort here, by the way. They're going to take that one out. Or are they? Maybe not quite, because we have Artanis moving in. It's going to get very close, and now that we have Theoden here too, yep, they're going to be able to lock this in. Okay, well, I'm not quite sure if that helps you too much. Atrax is in trouble. He might fall here. Needs some heals, and thankfully they have a support or two. And now, of course, with Water Dragon and all the slows, it's a completely different ball game, and Zul is the one that dies. But Nazebo is at least in play. We have the Punisher up at the top. 100 stacks now for Artanis. 16 stacks for Suljin, and they're getting lots of damage in against the Punisher at least. Nazebo is also chipping in. They're holding on for a long time here. The swap from Artanis as he essentially swaps himself right underneath the fort, and it helps Suljin to get a few more hits in. They're defending against the Punisher. Sniper survives, but barely, because Mephisto was about to take him down. And is going to get his ult, maybe? No. Not risking it. If he would have used his ult, that would have been a kill. Obviously, he didn't have any vision, but if he would have known, Consume Souls would have been taken instantly, and he would have gotten that kill. To be fair, Suljin still had his ult too, so he could have used that. Orphea now down. Lots of damage still from the Evil with 70 stacks, so he needs to speed this up a bit. But here comes the prison. Yep, and another zombie wall. But it's always the slows that we're getting from Lily that really caused a big problem for them. Yeah. Lots of damage against the structures, by the way, so this is really nice for them. But they're falling farther and farther behind in experience. They're just not catching up in the stacks on Suljin's side or Nazebo's side fast enough to turn this around, but it's still crazy. Nazebo is the only one that hasn't died on the red team yet. Orphea has died 4 times, Zul 3 times. They're doing the best that they can without any heals, any sustain. And Ross Pierdol, especially when it comes to big team fights, they have so much that it's nearly impossible to kill anybody. 20,000 damage for both Suljin and Nazebo. They are carrying the hopes and dreams of the team here. And they're not giving up. They haven't lost the fort yet, but it is happening eventually. You can tell that with the big gap in experience, we now have more and more momentum for the blue team. I mean, they're sitting at level 16 talents already with a 2-level gap. And, yeah, Nazebo is a bit slow. That's a problem. 78 stacks. He needs another 100. One of the things that he's definitely trying to do is take down these structures. Passive experience would be neat for them. He's going to die to this now, though. They know where Nuburak is, and he can try and hearth back out, but it's not happening. He knows it too, so the only thing that he does right now is say, okay, I will die anyways. The best thing I can do for my team is buy a little bit of time, let them move down to the bottom of the map, ice block this out, and take the fort, and that's what they did. So Nazebo is gone, it's his first death, but he got them the fort. So 2 forts are now destroyed. That helps them a little bit. It's just essentially buying them time. One of the questions is, time for what? Because Suljin doesn't have the stacks. Nazebo doesn't have the stacks. And they will have to face these fights eventually anyways. So now the ult on Suljin, he gets some stacks but falls. 50 now, it's not enough on the level 7. They're starting to chase them here further. And in the long run, the blue team should really be able to take this. Especially, of course, with Artanis also stacking. He's at 176 stacks now. That's nothing insane. It's not crazy. But, well, it will add up as things continue. And good luck taking him down. He's at 18,000 damage. Just nothing too special. But now they're going for objective number 3. And of course they're going to win this one as well. 12 kills to 2. Rospiedol, that draft, the way that they locked in those 3 supports and made it impossible for DMW to get a healer themselves, might just be what wins them the series. We're jumping ahead here, like way too much, obviously. I mean, first of all, they have to win game number 4. I'm just saying, there's now a chance that they have a shot. That allowed them to get there. Mortar Punisher, and now we're 12, 13 minutes in. So even with the 2 forts destroyed, we're slowly getting to a point where the blue team is going to be able to grab themselves some structures as well. The defense down here still going strong, but Mephisto is already moving in. Mortar Punisher is doing damage too, consumes souls, and they have to tap the fountain if they can. Sniper is just dodging attacks the entire time, and Anubarak is dodging nothing anymore. Both of them are actually dead. So yeah, this is where they're starting to fall a bit apart. Top side. The liability goes down once more. Liability is gone, and wait, they are going to get Lily too, aren't they? Lily? Well, maybe not. It's a little bit too quick on her feet here. But taking Artanis down has given them at least some experience. Orphea is the only one defending at the bottom of the map. Again, if they... I'm racking my brain here thinking about what they can do. If they make it to 20 and Zebo gets Vile Infection, maybe. Just maybe. I have to admit that I also don't really understand why he didn't boost his trade a little bit on level 4. That would have been really nice. Restoring the max health through spiders. I think having the bigger hit point pool is probably better. Do you really get the sustain well enough if you're going into this with spiders here? I mean, you might actually. Might actually be able to pull that off. No double swing still for Sniper. And now with level 20, we got the Double Dragon. Double Dragon and Mimic. I just don't see them play through this, even once that they have Storm Talons. And it's going to take them a long time to get there. If the blue team wants to play that game properly, they need to attack now. And they are. They're moving in and they're really starting to wreck him. I mean, damn son. Anubrak dead instantly. Orphea, bye-bye. Sniper is also about to go down. Makes it actually. Good for him. That was a bit unexpected, but yeah, he's able to get away. Evil with a little bit of a dance party. Oh yeah, baby. Keep it up. And after the fort got destroyed, they're now going to go for the mid lane keep. The problem is that Nazebo just doesn't have the stacks either. Even if they're making it to level 20 right now, he's still so far behind. He's 109 stacks. He needs another 66 stacks. It's just too much. If we had more stacks on, I don't know, Suljin, on the baseline and his level 7, then maybe they would have had a shot to push him back a little bit and get the damage out. But they're just sieging up like crazy with this. And they have the damage numbers. 214 stacks now for Artanis. So that's another one. It's just absolutely nasty. And they're trying to go for core now with this too. Maybe this is the moment where DMW can exploit this a little bit. If with the assistance of the core they can get kills now, that will get them closer in talents. And at least Suljin is going to be able to stack. But they're losing Zul, they're losing Orphea. Suljin, again, as expected, is getting more damage in, but he still is most likely not able to push them back by himself, or well, together with Nazebo, I guess. The core is already falling, and they can buy some time, but Sniper is gone, and Anubrak is also dead. Outdrafted, baby. Outdrafted. Rospiedol with a sexy move in the draft of game number 4. They make it happen, and now we're going to the final map of the series. We are going to game number 5 once again. GG. Game number 5, again the final map, and now it's getting crazy. After they just outdrafted DMW, that leaves us now on the 5th map with only 2 healers. Alex Straza and Morales, and I think both of them will be banned out. And one of the interesting things as well is, We are going to Tomb of the Spider Queen, and you could technically not ban Cho'Gall now if you're DMW, and just simply say, hey, we're gonna pick him as a first pick. So you could actually do that. If you want to play Cho'Gall, you could try and do it, because first pick goes to Rospidol. Stitches gets banned though, and now essentially each one of them has to... I mean, honestly, I don't know why you wouldn't ban Stitches here. If they don't ban a support right now, you can only ban one. I think DMW just screwed up massively. Why did they not ban a support? Now all Rospidol has to do is not ban a support and they can pick one. They ban Asmodan. Okay, to be fair, now what we're going to see is like no support ban from Team W and then both get one. Alright. I've been outthinking myself a little bit right now. So yeah, each team is going to end up with a support. So Rospidol can choose which one they want. That's what we're going to get. Cho'Gall is open, which surprises me, because now Rospidol can play a support and Cho'Gall. And if DMW picks Cho'Gall and no support, then Rospidol picks the second support. And you play again without a support. Okay? But then why not ban supports? Then both teams would not have a support. Now we're going to see Morales picked. Rospidol, they don't even have to pick Morales. They can ban Morales. Alright, DMW is going to play without a support. Melganis and Malthael, they're going to ban Morales. And DMW is apparently totally okay with this. Honestly, they must have thought this through, right? We are guessing, so I have to guess. I have to they could do this, they could do that, maybe here, maybe there. But they must have thought that through. It's much easier when you're like one of the teams right now and you can make your choice. So, did they actually screw this up? Or did they just say, we're fine with that? You can win without a support. Last game the problem was that one team had 3 supports, the other team had no supports. So the amount of sustain that you have there is just insane. So the question is, did DMW really make a mistake when they thought this through? Because they could have just had banned a support and forced another support ban, then both of the teams would have no support and they would still have had Cho'Gall. So that might have been the better option here. But apparently they either messed up and didn't realize what would happen, or they just said, we don't care. You can get a healer, we're going to play without one, and we're going to wreck you. Because we're going to then pick up real powerful picks for ourselves. I mean, I guess we'll find out. We got Melganis and Malthael, we got Phoenix and Tassadar now round out the draft. I have to assume that DMW made a mistake in their thought process somewhere, because it would have been beneficial for them if both of the teams didn't have a support and they ended up with Cho'Gall. Then it would be more of a even playing field. But either way, this is the final map. They chose it. Tomb of the Spider Queen is where this is going to end. One team drops out of the tournament. The other team moves on to the next round of the losers bracket. And the final choice for DMW, well, it is Khaldor. You can't complain that they don't have enough damage. They have plenty of damage right here. Let's see if it's going to be enough for them. Tomb of the Spider Queen, everybody. Map number 5. Final map. Final map in the series. Lavekal on Tassadar. We got Balor on Alexstrasza. Machko is playing Melganis. We're getting Arion on Phoenix and Atrax on Malthael. Over on the right side, the Evil with Gal. We got Theoden on Cho, Sereni on Zagara, going for Infest. They're definitely trying to outpush them here. Yoshiro with Jimmy, and we got Sniper on Khaldor. A lot of those guys have a couple of tools so that they can respawn a little bit faster or even buy back immediately. Obviously, even more so true when we're talking about the level 20 talents with Cho'Gall just naming one. But it should be wild. We could also get Nidus here. I mean, Nidus allows you for more sustain because you can simply heal up very, very quickly. You don't need that heal of your opponent there right away. So let's see how this plays out. DMW, the series got insanely wild in Game 4, and now the craziness just continues. We're having Jimmy also with stacks on level 1, so he's going straight into the veteran marksman here. But yeah, this is going to be a wild game for sure. Zagara currently holding on to the bot lane and up against Arion. Cho'Gall is, of course, in and of itself a beast and has a lot of the self-sustain as well that he can rely upon. But Alexstrasza, she is just going to add that extra element for the blue team that I thought they would eliminate. I really thought we would end up in a game where neither team has a support. But they chose to go for Cho'Gall. They had a very clear choice. They could have decided to just not pick Cho'Gall. That was an option. After Alexstrasza gets picked first, they have a choice to make. They realize at the latest, even if they didn't realize it before, even if before they made a thought mistake, at that moment they knew, if we pick Cho'Gall, we're not going to get a support. Our opponent is either going to get both, or they're going to ban one out. Those are the options. And they still decided that they want to pick Cho'Gall. So it was a conscious decision from them to say, we want Cho'Gall more than we want to support in this game. And this might actually be justified. I'm just saying, they could have also gone for a draft with Morales and played a non-Cho'Gall composition. That was an option for them, and they decided against it. So let's see if this works out. Khaldor is obviously getting his baseline stacks slowly. We're getting stacks also for Jimmy, so it's all about damage, 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 pressure, pressure, pressure. And yeah, they're getting lots of pressure already down at the bottom of the map. You might get the siege shines, but we're going to take your wall. So this one is nearly eliminated. In comes Malthael though, and bye-bye Zagara. She's the first one that falls. Yeah, nice damage over here. The thing with Alexstrasza obviously is that if you're playing Cho'Gall and she just sets that circle of life up, you basically know where exactly you have to direct your damage. That's not only true for Cho'Gall, but also for Khaldor. Khaldor on level 4 now with armor of the Arclich. And we get Zagara with the Envenomed Spines. Jimmy with Behemoth armor right now. And at least for the time being, things are still flowing fairly well. They're trying to get also the gems turned in as quickly as they can, and for very good reason, obviously, because, let's face it, you're gonna die a couple of times. You don't have any support, any healer that can sustain you in team fights. So the more gems you can turn in quickly, the better for you. Nice stacks for Yoshiro this early in the game. Not insane, but 11 is solid given the circumstances here. You gotta be careful with your positioning if you don't have a healer that can back you up. Alright, Cho'Gall, and yeah, he's fine. Cho'Gall is able to get away. Zagara, on the other hand, all the way up at the top. It's already pinged here. Has to be a bit careful because, yep, here comes the cavalry. It's gonna be funny once that we have Itrax with his ult. Last Rites is gonna get stacks this game. He might be able to complete this. There's definitely a chance of that happening. They should be doing well with the defense against Web Weavers, given the damage that they have right now. It depends on how aggressive the blue team is. But yeah, right now, Machko putting them to sleep here, trying to set them up. And in comes the play from Khaldor, and oh my god, the double kill! Get wrecked, son! Nice! Really nice! Quick double kill for DMW and a beautiful layup from Khaldor. Check that one out. Oof. That one was solid, like really well done. So they get Tassadar, they get Mal'Ganis. Also created space for Zagara at the bottom of the map to take that wall down. But yep, that play was good. And the red team gets the first set of Web Weavers. They get their Web Weavers first. So they're going to gain some momentum here. Drop maybe even a fort, considering how far ahead on this they are. With level 7, we got now the Acid. Khaldor with the Accelerated Decay. And yeah, they did okay there. That was a nice double kill. If they can follow up with a few more of those, it would go a long way. Quest completed for Alexstrasza, so it's time to spawn a few more globes for them. Cho'Gall at the top, Zagara down at the bottom, and the kill. Arion survives this barely. Gems lost, of course, now too. But Phoenix made it. Phoenix survived through this. Cho'Gall at the top with damage. And again the play from Khaldor as Sniper is trying to get himself more stacks for the baseline quest. Jimmy has moved down to the bottom of the map and is actually wrecking Phoenix here. So they are able to get fort damage in. The rotation will come eventually, but now he has the Inspire buff also procced with those minions. So this fort is going to take a lot of damage. They're retreating and they're going to get the entire thing now. Fort is down. Fort is gone. They just need to try and make it out of this. And Malthael is coming in. One penetrating round would go a long way for now, but there's also a lot of gems on the line. Khaldor. Oh, there's the kill. As Jimmy gets eliminated by Phoenix, by Tassadar, the next Protoss dies as Cho'Gall went in deep and took down Phoenix. But now, can he get away? No, the level 10, and that's the last right, and a kill. Oh, that sucks. That's unfortunate. And that's, of course, a problem. Lots of gems lost, but Sereni still picks up quite a few. So they have 23. They already got the first turn in earlier. Now we have both teams on level 10 abilities, but of course the lead in experience for Rospedol. We get Upheaval, and we actually get more. So they're not heading in. I expected really Nidus Network just for the continuous sustain that you're getting with the ability to heal yourself up consistently. Malthael now on 1 stack, and as I said before, I really expect him to get a huge amount of stacks as the game continues. Bit of a tactical pause over here for the team. Tio Evil, Sniper, did anybody drop? Yay! Jimmy actually dropped. Okay, that's not good. It's game number 5, granted, but Jimmy dropping out of the game is definitely not what we want to see here. He's currently at 18 stacks, has slowed down a little bit on his level 1, and we get him with Behemoth Armor on 14 stacks. Cho'Gall can still do a lot of work, but a lot of the talents that give him sustain and survivability kick in later, so that's something that they're going to be waiting for. The problem is, how do you deal with that Web Weaver wave now? Zagara and Cho'Gall should be fine here, might even have to sacrifice the cooldown on Jimmy's Hyperion, one of the reasons why they're definitely pausing this right now. So this is going to determine a lot. For the time being, I gotta say, there is definitely an advantage for Rospedol in experience, and they have a chance to extend this further. But DMW, if they can stack Khaldor, if they can stack Jimmy, if they can get to a decent late game, they might have a chance. Yeah, it's a lot of ifs and whens, and we're going to figure that out in a moment. But yeah, game 5, some wild drafts today. It's honestly, it's just crazy. Jimmy reconnected. Cho'Gall already anticipating the Web Weavers to touch down in the middle. And yeah, who's defending the top? That's the question right now. They might burn this quickly and then move towards the top and just leave Zagara at the bottom of the map. That's exactly what it looks like as we speak. But yeah, Sereni with 21 gems also has to be careful because there's Phoenix and the Maw. It's more of a zoning more than anything else. Talking about zoning, they're actually going for Malthael at the top. That is 32 gems that they just lost here. 32 gems were just taken down. They're losing the fort at the bottom of the map, so each team has now eliminated 1 fort. But that was also a really nice kill, because the more heroes they're killing, the better they're staying in experience. And it helps them. Also, of course, assists Khaldor, who is really trying to get this quest completed. Once that he has the baseline done, he's going to look so much better in the damage output. The numbers right now favor actually Zagara with 16,000. She's by far the top damage dealer for the time being. And then we have, of course, Gal with 13,000, Jimmy with 13,000. Khaldor not really looking that great here yet. But this could change once that he completes the baseline. So the numbers are there for them. Still need to try and turn in, by the way. And the danger is also, as I said before, Malthael once that he gets this done. Yeah, Sniper missing a few of these hits here. Sitting at 17 stacks right now. They can maybe turn in those gems from Zagara, but Malthael has already sniffed this out. Machko is on point with this. And they're rotating towards the top and trying their luck there. Early level 13 talent for Rospedol, but the gap in experience has been closed enough that this is not something that the red team has to worry about. They're turning in with the Zagara, they're turning in with Sniper. They nearly have the next turn in, by the way. They have enough gems in total, but they also need to deliver with Cho'Gall if they want to get there. And Phoenix is getting a bit cheeky at the bottom of the map, doesn't he? He's actually going in pretty deep. Here comes the ult, and Mal'Ganis is dead. They try to go for Alexstrasza, can't take her down, but they can certainly take a few of those structures apart. So, yeah, nice kill against Mal'Ganis. Problem is, here comes Phoenix, and that's a kill on Jimmy. Last rights stack number 2, and bye-bye Zagara. That's the problem when you stay a bit too long. They're getting cocky when they get the kill, and then they stay slightly too long on the lane, and it's just too much for them to handle. But I have to admit that some of the combos that they're using, especially with the ult of Kel'Thuzad being chained, are working really well for them. But now we have 2 stacks already for our boy Malthael. And I said before, without a healer, you will get more and more of these stacks in the game. And that is going to be a problem, because as the cooldown gets decreased, Malthael will become a healing machine here. Will be for sure. Red team gets another turn in, so they can try and defeat the boss at the top and burn this one down quickly. It's an early boss after all. And then also use their own web weavers a bit. Zagara is pushing out the bottom of the map. But yeah, we already have the entirety of the blue team collapse onto the middle to try and take the web weavers out there. 22,000 damage for Zagara. 12,000 for Phoenix. Huge difference there for sure. Yeah, and then you have Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza and Kel'Thuzad are the only one that haven't died yet. The heal of Alexstrasza, of course, plays a big role. But it's 7 kills to 5 regardless. And they're still in nearly even XP. Yeah. They pull them in and might get a kill. Lavakal. Oh, nice play by Kel'Thuzad. But they could not get the kill. They had so many of them low, but they're missing out on the killing blow. Now they're trying for Phoenix, and he is dead. Phoenix is dead, but that's another last right stack for Malthael. He's at 3 now. I'm telling you, he's going to be the one that rips them apart towards the end. Cho'Gall is alive for now. Nearly killed. Makes it out. Has to retreat, though. There's value from the web weavers at the bottom of the map. They didn't get a fort, but they're opening the keep wall up a bit. But there's no additional structure that was taken out here. So now a half-level lead for Rospedol. 22 stacks for Kel'Thuzad. He needs more. He needs to get there. But 3 stacks for Malthael. That's very early in the game, and we already have him on a 15-second cooldown reduction. I'm telling you, this is going to be problematic, and more than just a little bit. But with the level 16 talents, we now also have some really nice tools for the red team. Paint and Red is in. We have also Corrosive Saliva. And let's not forget, we've been talking about this at the beginning of the game, but once that you're at level 20, the death timer reduction in and of itself for Cho'Gall is worth a lot in a situation like this. You can YOLO and you can really trade for structures. So the fact that they are not farther behind in experience is actually a really, really big deal right now. Now this gap might be extended, but Rospedol cannot take this one too easy. They have to be very, very careful on how they are playing it, because there is still a chance for DMW to win this one. It's wild that this goes to the 5th map. 5 mapper in this series is just crazy. And what a set of games we had today. Not only in this best of 5, but also in the previous ones. And now just look at Zagara. Inspire buff is in, and look how quickly that fort goes down. Zagara stayed too long and is going to fall, but this makes just sure that they're going to get that fort for sure. So, tries to delay this a little bit. Ult being used here now too. Sereni gets the Maw out. They're buying some time. But yes, that's another fort destroyed. And it means that Rospedol has to try and get themselves web weavers to take also some structures out. Of course, with 2 forts now gone, that means that the passive experience increase is gonna be accelerated a little bit. Just looking at the experience numbers, hero experience and minion experience is where the blue team is pulling ahead the most. And now with the web weavers, yeah, they might have a shot at taking out a couple of additional forts here. So, well, with that, we have at the top Mal'Ganis moving in again. Zagara should be back in a few seconds. Will be a bit late to the defense, but should still be able to help out a little bit. 23 stacks for Kel'Thuzad. If he completes the quest. A lot of ifs and whens, I know. But yeah, if he completes the quest, then the blue team is gonna go up against a lot more damage. Yoshiro, they chase him, gets the penetrating round. Beautiful hit. Waiting for the choke point, all the patience there. Gets the hit in, and now he's going to die to last rights anyways. Malthael, bit too powerful. There's the hit, there's the kill. And that's stack number 4. 20-second cooldown reduction right now. Yep, that's the problem. But they're blowing Tacita out of the water, so they get the kill here. Tacita is gone. More connects with Malthael. Can they get something out of this? Doesn't look like... Well, maybe. They're chasing this even harder. They want him, but they can't get him. Now, the fort in the middle has been destroyed. They still technically hold onto the one at the top, but I don't think they can rotate in time to save it. Blue team will be faster here. They are trying, though. You know what? Maybe they will get it after all. Cho'Gall gets attacked here. Last Rites is up in another 5 seconds. That's the problem. There's the swap. Okay. And they go for Phoenix. And bye-bye. Phoenix is gone. They get another kill. 10 kills to 8. Yeah, they're still maintaining that small experience gap. There is a boss that can be taken by Rospedol, maybe. But it's 19 to 19 now. And they got 52 gems. Maybe they can even turn them in yet. 27 stacks for the baseline on Kel'Thuzad. Jimmy is now at the bottom of the map and is doing his work there, pushing through that very, very quickly, trying to get the team some extra XP. They're hoping to get the boss, but I don't think they can. It's 28 seconds until Phoenix is back, so they might have a shot if they really wanted to. But they have to also contest with Last Rites again. That turn-in, though, that's gonna help. Blue team is gonna get level 20. But they don't get the entire thing! Jimmy, he could have turned in at the bottom and didn't! Oh, that's actually what I was waiting for. I thought he would move down to the bottom turn-in point, and he just did not. Now it's level 20 versus level, well, 20 in a moment. And then, yeah, then it's the full power spikes, basically. Alright, so now death timer reduction, right? That's what we get, for sure. Yeah, death timer reduction by 50. We get also execute orders at this point in time. Death timer gets reduced by 35 seconds. Tyrant Maw is in. So now we'll see how they are playing this out, if they're trading this a bit. The Damned returned for Kel'Thuzad. This is where they find their final form. This is what they were hoping for with all of it. Is that gonna be enough? Yes or no? That's the question. They get the ult out again. Not enough damage though, but it's the play for Kel'Thuzad that we get instead. They're trying for Machko and he gets healed in the last moment, just before that auto attack connects. Now we have Zagara eliminated. Cho'Gall with another play, but he just kills himself. They will be back in just a few seconds, but this still hurt them a lot. I mean, this still hurts a ton. Now they can go for the boss, for example. So, damn, 14 kills to 8. For Rospedol, this was just glorious. This was an absolute glorious fight here. Jimmy with 31 stacks and 27, that's not going to be enough. But, yeah, Cho'Gall will be back in 9 seconds. Kel'Thuzad in 30, Zagara in 34. Ooh, that hurt. That hurt them so much to lose this many. Mal'Ganis gets pushed back with a penetrating round. And let's not forget that we have Malthael now at 5 stacks. 5 stacks. Here's the turn-in. He got it. They're going to get Web Weavers. So there's at least a bit of a counterbalance. But 5 stacks for Mal'Ganis means 35-second cooldown reduction right now. 25. So, yeah. He can YOLO that out so much. And the damage output is going to reflect that. Look at the damage, by the way, that we're getting from Gal, from Zagara, from also Jimmy. It's absurd. It's just not enough. They're defending against the boss at the top and can now push a little bit. Kel'Thuzad hasn't really done enough. He has the utility plays, obviously, but the damage output just isn't there for him. He has great utility with particularly his ult that he can then chain up with Cho'Gall. Can always have argued that it would have been better for them to stack even more damage with his other ult. But they're getting something out of it. They need that baseline though. That baseline really needs to be played out properly. And he's still missing out on 3 stacks. So they're going for the fort in the middle. Hyperion is up. Atrax is coming in. And this time, yeah, he's waiting for that next hit. He can YOLO those ults out. 25-second cooldown reduction is massive. Getting the Hyperion here is going to guarantee them the fort. So now, technically, in structures, they're even. In structures, they're actually even. So, yeah. They're moving over to the next camp. This is kind of wild. 19 minutes in. No heal against 1 heal. Oh, Atrax! No! 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 And it's a kill. 40 gems on the ground. The maw on Mal'Ganis. And the gems are gone. They just lost 40 gems. 40 gems are eliminated. Malthael is obviously back. They get a kill on Jimmy. But damn, that was brutal. He just face-checked the area and got crushed. Absolutely face-checked it and gets murdered. Jimmy is back in 16 seconds. Now the quest is completed for Khaldor. That might also be a little bit of a game changer for them. But the last rights on Zagara. Oh, then again, Mal'Ganis is dead too. They get another pull, and Balor is dead. Alexstrasza is gone, and, well, it might even be the end. Oh, no way, Malthael is able to escape. But yeah, all of a sudden, with the death timer reduction, and with all the damage that they're getting, and the numbers that we have now on specifically Khaldor, that is a totally different story. So they're getting the attack in on Phoenix. He went into the singularity charge, and Phoenix is gone. That's a lot of gems on the ground, too. So that only leaves Malthael and Tassadar. Guys, we're looking at 12 kills to 16. This is wild. This series is absolutely wild at this point. Totally crazy. Here comes Hyperion. Immediately, they want to go for the keep, and there's only 2 defenders, and they're going to get damaged one way or another here. Already setting things up. They need to keep Cho'Gall away, though. They still have, I suppose... I mean, they have to have... Okay, they get the kill. They have to have him with Molten Block, or they wouldn't have stayed that far in, because once that Mal'Ganis gets close enough, he's going to drop that last rights on you. I would have loved for him to turn in, by the way. Dude, you have 23 gems. Just turn them in. Just make it happen. They're ahead now. They're actually ahead now. This is insane. 6 stacks for Malthael. Yeah, once again, a little bit of an attack here. Trying to get the ult out. They go for him. And Cho'Gall. There's the block. Now he's dead. Last rights is going to kill him. Yeah, last rights. Bam. Cho'Gall is gone. Back in 30 seconds. Back in 30 seconds. They need to get Jimmy out here as well. Yeah, those walls are not hitting them hard enough. And keep in mind, if he's making it all the way over to the left and they chase him, then they have to cross the map first in order to get close to him again. And that would basically mean that he will spawn very quickly, because his death timer is very low too. So this is the problem with the death timer decrease. Because if you kill heroes somewhere over here, by the time you're over on the right side of the map, they're back to defend. So you have to kill them twice in order to make it towards the opponent's core. Turn-ins and bosses, that's essentially the big tool for Rospedol. But now we have 7 stacks on last rights. He's going to complete it. I called it early in the game. He is going to complete it. Jimmy is back, by the way. Jimmy is now back. We got 60,000 damage for Zagara. 57,000 for Cho'Gall, or for Gal. And then 52,000 for Jimmy. If they get a kill, they're going to go boss. And late game boss is going to wreck this. So there's the thing, and another kill. Bam. Not even the last right stacks for him right now. They get Jimmy anyways. 30-second death timer. That boss, I mean, honestly, I don't think that there's another team that can take the boss. How would you? How would you go there and claim this? They're trying to be annoying. Yeah. Can they get Mal'Ganis? He goes for the swap and is still alive. Still alive, and now we're going to see a kill on Cho'Gall. Last rights, bye-bye. And that's the quest completed. No, not quite. He needs another one. He's at 8. So, yeah, that's now another kill. Cho'Gall gone, 20 seconds and he's back, but the boss is going to be claimed. We're 23 minutes into the game. It's just insane. And I really wonder if DMW would have just banned a little bit differently and eliminated Alexstrasza as well. Would that have changed things? They felt like they were thriving in chaos, and honestly, they're doing way better than I ever thought they would be able to in this game. But right now, Rospedol is pulling farther and farther ahead. They have 22 kills against 12, and now they have the boss, and they're going to go for the turn-in with the Web Weavers. So it's going to be a double whammy that DMW needs to deal with. They're going to burn the boss down quickly. I think that's a given. Don't think that White Boy is going to survive too long, but then they have to deal with Web Weavers too. Zagara is going to be able to do a lot of work. I mean, you can see how quickly that boss disappears. This thing does nothing. breaks through half the wall, and that's essentially it. Yeah, that was mega quickly defeated. But now it's time for the Web Weavers, and that's a different story. So, well, let's see. How well are they going to do here? Can they save their keeps? Don't forget, DMW is currently ahead in structures. That will likely change now. But they have taken a keep down, and so far Rospedal hasn't. They have to do that now with the Web Weavers. And at least the one in the middle gets burned down. Bye-bye. Gone within moments. So this one is not going to fall anytime soon. And once that they defend here, if they are not losing a keep, this means that the boss is not on the map for a couple of minutes. And on top of that, there's no turn-in anymore for the opponent's team. But I guess the keep at the bottom of the map, this is at least something that they can try and get. But even that they're missing out on. So, yeah. They're holding on to this. This should be pushed out a little bit further to just safeguard the bot lane more than they currently have. But it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Oh, yeah. They're throwing a lot out here now. So Malthael is still trying. They take this at least. They want to go for the play. Oh, very early ult from Alexstrasza here. And Cho'Gall is likely going to be dying again. Yep, that's the last rights, and Cho'Gall is gone. They get a Maw out, but that's not going to do enough. So with Cho'Gall gone for another 27 seconds, I think the bottom keep is finally going to fall. This is the best opportunity that you're going to have in this game. If you don't make a play right now, you never will. So they're going to go for the keep, and they're going to take it. Keep gone, more not in the cards. Nah, not possible. They're not going to get more out of this. Over there on the left side, still one camp pushing a bit. Gem count 33 to 24. And the boss up in another 2.5 minutes. We're already 26.5 minutes into the game. Cho'Gall is back. Cho'Gall is back now. 69,000 damage for Tassadar. 74,000 for Zagara. They got the damage numbers. They're just lacking the sustain. It's kind of funny that the camp actually makes it all the way over towards the core. So they have some vision there too. I wonder if they're trying to turn the gems in or if they just don't care anymore. I think this is just gonna some YOLO plays. The best place to fight for the red team is here. The farther on the left you fight, the better. If you win the fight, you are at their core and you can take it down. If you lose the fight, they can't cross the map and finish, because by the time that they are crossing the map, you are back on the map. So this is actually something where I would love for them to play a little bit more aggressive and trying to just get the fight over on the left. I think they're YOLOing for structures now. They're trying to YOLO for core. Okay. Yeah, they're trying to play the YOLO game. But they were met too quickly. They're getting damage in on the core, but it's just not... Whoa! It's not enough? What the fuck? What the fuck? What? 26%? Guys, if they weren't there immediately, by accident, by the way, this would be over now. What just happened? Okay. They can defend now. Look, they're crossing the map and they're just arriving and everybody is back. If they get there once more, it's over. I had no clue they were able to get damage out this quickly. That is crazy. What on earth just happened there? Mal'Ganis is dead. Phoenix is dead. They kill Kel'Thuzad. Cho'Gall is about to fall. No, he survives. But they only have 3 heroes right now. There's catapults on the core though, and they gotta take the catapults out. Sereni is about to fall. Cho'Gall is still alive. They go for the core. They need to win it right now, and they know it. They know it. Atrax. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. Cho'Gall, he blocks. He has the molten block, and he survives. And Jimmy comes in. And he doesn't make it. 57% on the core. And Cho'Gall is alive. This game is insane. What is going on here? I still can't believe that the core is down to 26%. Again, Phoenix was right there, moving over. If they would have not been at the core at the time, the game would be over right now. This is insane. I honestly had no idea that the two of them would be able to do this much damage this quickly. absolutely bonkers. I mean, honestly, can't they just YOLO over and try and do that again? Zagara is back. It's now a 5 versus 5 on the map again. We have 26% on the core against 57. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, they got web weavers. They got web weavers now. Cho'Gall is saying hi. He was trying to sneak past, but they caught them in the act. Yeah, well, don't want to do anything here. There's the hit! No! Malthael! He can't buy back, can he? No, he's dead for the entire duration. Malthael is gone. No last rites. Malthael actually completed last rites, but he can't do anything here. So, yeah, they're trying to go for the next kill. It's unbelievable what's going on in this game. 90,000 damage from Zagara, 91,000 from Tassadar. Here come the Web Weavers. They're taking them down slowly. Kel'Thuzad is dead, and they still try to get the kill over here. They go for Mal'Ganis. They need the heals, and they get it. Okay, so Alexstrasza is keeping them in play, and Zagara is dead. That only leaves 2 defenders. Reyna is dead. This was Jimmy. Jimmy is gone, and it might just be game. Unbelievable series. Cho'Gall is low. The shield is falling. He's trying to get the ult out, trying to get the kills, but that is it. Rospiadol takes the victory. DMW goes down. They lose. They are out of the tournament. GG. Well played.